Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Voices of Mars. This is me, Mars, and I will talk to you regarding Painter's Burnout. At first, I want to credit Les for actually posting up a video about Painter's Burnout, and today is basically a response video towards that video, and the link is also down below. And these are my takes on it, what I do to actually avoid Painter's Burnout. Well, Painter's Burnout, I also like to call it laziness, because everybody managed to get through them. You go into like a 1 or 2 weeks or maybe even more break, and then you're like, I don't want to paint this anymore. There's a lot of things to combat that, and I think Les mentioned a couple of things that he does to combat that, and I think those are some great ideas, but I would like to add to some of his ideas. So let's start off with a couple of things that he mentioned. One of them is music or listening to something. I totally agree with what he said. Music is one of the things that kind of keeps you pumping. I actually went to the opposite end of the music side, because I like to listen to soothing music instead of boom, 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 that kind of thing to keep me painting. I usually listen to Korean music. Actually, I listen to K-pop a lot before Gangnam Style, and I listen to Japanese music a lot, so most of them are mellow ballad kind of thing, and then a lot of them are a little bit contemporary and jazzy. I like those kind of music, so I paint with those kind of music. But I wanted to touch up on a subject where it's an addition to the music part, because you got to be comfortable when you're listening to music. You can't just put on a headset and then you start painting and it feels pumped up. For me, at least, this is in my humble opinion again, when I'm listening to the music, I gotta make sure that my headsets, my cords and everything is out of the way, because one, I get worried that I don't want paint on my cord at all. I did that once with one of my expensive headsets, and I got pissed off so bad, because I have an OCD of keeping everything clean, except for my painting area, of course. Having your headset cord out of the way is one of the key factors to it. Having it on good enough volume for you to actually work on is good, because you want to get immersed in your painting, but you want to get immersed in your painting so you wouldn't get bothered by anything else, and you just want to focus on painting. So that is my take on music. It is, and also I forgot to mention that listening to podcasts, I've been listening to I can't pronounce their name, Aethervox. I think they're based in Australia or something. It's a Malifaux podcast, because I'm practicing for Malifaux tournament in Adepticon, so I wanted to learn more tactics about Malifaux, and listening to podcasts is one of the good things. Like, I listen it on the way to work, like everywhere basically. Listening to Malifaux podcast while you're painting Malifaux model it's a perfect synergy. Those are one of those things that I listen to while I'm painting. Sometimes, you know, my wife is actually watching stuff in the background, so I don't put my headset on, so I just listen to what she's watching. Like, it could be a Korean drama or like a TV drama or a movie, you know. Sometimes I chuckle at the things that she watches, but it keeps me like my ears entertained while I'm focusing on painting. Second, let's mention something about putting your models away while you're painting, so you're not looking at a giant bulk of things that you need to paint. I completely agree to that, because the human brain works in a funny way, where if you see a lot, let's say you're coming back from work, you're already tired, you see a whole lot of stuff that you need to paint, you're like, I don't want to do it. There's two ways out of that. One, you just give up. Actually, there's three ways. One, you just give up. Two, you get challenged and you come up and you paint them slowly. Or three, you just got even lazier and pay somebody to do it for you. I mean, there's nothing wrong with, you know, paying somebody to paint for your models, but you have that certain satisfaction when you paint your own model. In addition to that, I completely agree to Les. Put your models away. Bring out the ones that you're actually painting, like 5 to 10 models. That is perfect. I like that idea a lot. I've been actually doing that, and I'm also doing this thing in extra. Basically, what I do is I put a perfectly painted model, the one that I'm very satisfied with, put it in the middle of that entire area, the entire pile of models that you're painting. You stand them up, you know, put them in a display case, whatever. Put that model in the middle, and you sit back and you look at it. Once you look at it, you're like, I really need to get to paint, because that model looks good and the one surrounding it is not. It helps if it's from the same squad, from the same crew, from the same gang, whichever you want to do. But that's another method that I use to keep myself motivated from painting, because once I see a painted model, it looks good, I want to make sure everything around it, especially from the same crew, to get painted the same way. Another method regarding a similar solution to that, let's mention that don't buy another model, stop yourself from buying another model until you finish painting that. I completely agree with that. I actually mentioned it to a couple of people a couple of times. In addition to that, you can ask the local game store that you buy stuff from. You can actually go to them, hey dude, can you help me with something? I want to be motivated in painting. I want to buy this model. I have the money now. I'm afraid that if I don't buy it now, I'm not gonna have enough money to buy it again later. Can you do me a favor? I'm paying this now. Can you put it aside, leave it somewhere that you and I would know, but I cannot grab it until I show you this sets of crew finished painting. So until this is finished, don't give it to me unless I haven't finished it in like 3 months or something. So give yourself a time limit. So yeah, you can keep buying. I think is okay as long as you have the money, because I know sometimes it's hard to pass out on certain sale, on certain deals, like, you know, Black Friday. It's 30% to 50% off on certain things and you don't want to pass it up. So you buy it first. If you're comfortable leaving your models at the game store, give it to them and tell them, hey, take it first. I'm not gonna touch it, but if you see me finish certain things, start giving to me one by one. I really appreciate it. You know, I always buy from your store, so please help me become a better board gamer that way. So that's another method. I haven't actually used it because I've been pretty good in keeping myself motivated. I had like a 3 weeks break. That was because I just started working again. I became employed, and then as soon as I got home, I'm usually tired. My body's not used to it, but I've been painting again right now. That's another method. Another thing that wasn't really mentioned in the video is actually how you, when you paint, like certain things that makes you want to paint a little bit better. The environment of your painting station. If you see here in my area, it's not that great. It's pretty messy. As soon as you come back home, you wanted to paint, you see a whole pile of miniatures and you see a whole pile of stuff that you just leave everywhere. You're not gonna want to do it. Train yourself to clean up your painting area after you're done. Clean up your brushes, clean up your airbrushes, whichever you use. Clean them up, and then once you go home, you see a clean station with like 5 models waiting for you to paint. It is one of the greatest feelings to see that, like, you know, having a little amount of stuff to paint. It kind of tricks your brain like, oh, I'm almost done with it. And then you see a clean painting station. You can't resist to just, all right, I want to sit down. I'm going to paint these up by today. If not, I want to finish up by tomorrow. Having a clean environment, painting station is a good thing. You also want, you know, a really well lit area. Don't forget that lighting is important because your eye's going to go bad. You're looking at something this tiny and you want to make sure you always keep your eyes healthy, basically. Also, don't forget that your back is also a big problem if it's starting to hurt. What you want to do is stand up every 1 hour, walk around your house for like 5-10 minutes. Some people actually mention that they walk their dog or they grab something to eat. I don't personally like to eat in my breaks because once you start eating, you're gonna feel lazy because your body is comfortable. And especially with the current temperature right now, it's like perfect sleeping weather. So what I do, I usually just stand up, walk around, go to the restroom, grab something to drink or whatever. That's one of the other things that I do. Always stand up, you know, make sure that your back is not hurting, because if you have a bad back, I actually have a bad back already because I don't take my breaks back when I was in high school. So what you want to do is take your breaks once every hour, once every 2 hours, stand up for 10 to 20 minutes and then come back to the painting. Make sure you time when you're dumping out paint onto the palette and stuff, so you're not wasting paint. Do it, you know, at every color step. Like, let's say you were working on red and then you're done with the red for all the models you need to paint. Make sure it's everything done, and then you stop, and then you can take your break and then pull out a new color, then start over. That's another good method that I use to keep myself motivated in painting. You know, take breaks. Of course, everybody needs a break. And my last advice in the painting burnout thing: enter your models into painting competition. Whether you are a good painter, decent painter, like Cool Mini or not standard, or you're as good as a painter like Les, what you want to do is enter your stuff in a painting competition. Use that as a motivation. Use it as a goal. Don't worry about the prize, whether you're gonna win it or not. It's like, oh, I'm not gonna win it, so I'm not gonna enter it. No, put yourself into a painting competition and then follow the guidelines, what they have, and try to paint it, and then time yourself, because nothing is worse for painting than waiting till the last minute to paint. That is bad. If you want, also, you can also enter a tournament, a game tournament, where it requires you to paint your model. Enter yourself, keep yourself motivated. Basically, the tournament and the painting competition are the carrots that's hanging in front of you, and you want to chase it. That's another method that keeps me motivated. I always enter into any painting competition, any tournaments, you know. And remember, you can't use the same models over and over because that's just super wrong. Or don't use any other people's models. That's even worse. Anyways, those are my advice to combat painting burnout, or I call it laziness, because everybody gets it. You know, I had it. Everybody, especially commission painters, if they're painting armies, oh my God, that's why I don't paint armies for other people. So those are all my advices on combating the painting burnout, aka laziness. And I hope that you learned a little bit more about this world of painting, this world of miniature wargaming or hobbying through my opinions. Again, this is Mars, and I'll talk to you later.